What is up, guys? It is me, the Moliminous, here with another top 10 video, but this one is going to be a little bit less structured, a little bit less than what I was going to do. You know, there's a Steven Universe video in the works, tons of other top 10 videos, and I know they used to come out like once every week, but we've long since stopped that just after YouTube started throttling us, and I got into a lot of schoolwork and stuff. But I'm coming off of school, and you know, I do have ideas that I want to do, so I'll be doing them. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and go over the top 10 most need to know facts about Generation 5 coming up here. Now, a lot of these have already been detailed by me in other videos, but by people still not knowing in my own Discord server, by the way, which is discord.gg/Moliminous, or links in the description if you want to join that. Them not knowing what year the show actually comes out when Generation 5 airs, it tells me that despite the views on those videos, a lot of people just do not know about them. Like, there's so much information going out there. You have so many leaks coming out all at once that sometimes it's just hard to figure out what's going on. You know, so let me go ahead and detail you guys the top 10 need to know facts about My Little Pony Generation 5. Number 10. It will no longer be catered to the 7 to like 12-year-old demographic. Instead, they are now aiming for young adults and teens. Of course, it's still going to be PG, like Y or FV, something like that, YFE or something, which is just fantasy violence. So it's going to still be catered towards everyone, you know, family-friendly oriented show, which is a lot more action than what we saw in the original Generation 4. I say original, but you know, Generation 4. So think more like Steven Universe or Adventure Time. Those would probably be great examples of FV, fantasy violence. And that to me sounds awesome. We're not exactly getting Fallout Equestria, though you can argue that is pretty edgy and out there, but we're getting something that's not going to be limited by the rating of what it can talk about. Number 9. DHX is getting the X. Maybe it's because of all the constant leaks or something like that, but they're finally being let go. And in their place will be Boulder Media. Their parent company is Hasbro, and they were acquired in 2016. They are in Dublin, Ireland, so we're moving from Canada to Ireland. What that means for production, I'm not exactly sure, but they're not exactly new on the scene. They've almost been around for 20 years. They've been out here since 2000 making content and helping animated features get put into production. They've produced works for Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, El Tigre, The Amazing World of Gumball, Randy Cunningham, 9th Grade Ninja, and Wonder Over Yonder. So they've worked with a lot of the people who are already on the show staff. They've already been doing MLP stuff, such as the My Little Pony Equestria Girls spin-offs, and I believe they even played a part in the movie, if I'm not mistaken. Ever since they've been acquired, they've definitely had their hand in a lot of different animated works, some that are really iconic for me, like El Tigre, which was an horribly underrated show that needed to get way more attention than what it got. Number 8. Everyone working on this new Generation 5 that we've seen have had some sort of tie to being an MLP in the past. Even stuff that they've taken references for, like Danny DeVito, have been in the old school MLP shorts, or movies rather. The new showrunner is actually an ex-MLP writer, and he has worked closely with other shows that Lauren had her own hand in. You could scream that this is kind of biased, that they're only hiring their friends, and maybe they are, but I know that they've done good work in the past, so I'm not really gonna complain. Would I like to see some new fresh blood in the pot? Probably. That could be very interesting. We've seen people come out of nowhere to produce amazing shows, but Hasbro is a company, so they're not really gonna bet everything on some newbie. Number 7. It won't be on Discovery Family. Discovery Family hasn't really been turning a profit. In fact, they're still in debt, which is to be expected for a network. They did take out a $300+ million loan to get started. Again, expected, normal, but they're not exactly seeing any profits come in. MLP is, I guess, cutting ties with Discovery Family, which doesn't really make sense since Discovery Family was originally the Hub Network, owned completely by Hasbro Studios. Hasbro seems okay with parting with putting it on Discovery Family. Perhaps they think it might make more profit on a different network, or they think that because it's going to have that FV rating that it's going to be a little bit too high for the content that they normally air. Whatever the reason, it's going to find a new home sometime soon here. Number 6. The villain inspiration for this isn't actually just rehashing old designs. In Generation 4, almost every major villain was something that was already done. T-Rex, the Smooths, all of those guys were already in the series. They were just redesigned and repurposed for the modern series. It's not exactly anything new or stunning. It's stuff that we've seen done before. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to reuse assets from your own show, but it is kind of cool if we're gonna have a different generation to get some new ideas in there. It doesn't have to be the most groundbreaking stuff, but anything will be great. And that's what they're doing. They're taking inspiration from different actors and actresses, different shows and styles of villain, and they're coming up with their own unique characters. Number 5. All the races are getting their own planets. Essentially, they're splitting up Pegasi, Earth Ponies, and unicorns in this kind of separate but equal state. They're all getting their own planet, including a dragon planet where Spike will apparently be housed. Now, this was originally not confirmed, but they look like they have already gone through and confirmed that this is what's going to happen, at least privately in emails that were then leaked to the public. So we'll not see our main 6 together, if at all. Apparently it doesn't really revolve around the main 6. So we have no idea who the main characters really are, but that could be subject to change. Number 4, Applejack is no longer a country farmer. Nope. In fact, Applejack will now have more of an urban twist. There's a lot of jokes that were made about this, but Applejack will now be, I guess, a city pony? Picture someone down in the south, like Alabama, but in the cities and stuff like that. And that's Applejack, I guess, now. So she's no longer like a country hillbilly, but she is southern. She's just urban southern. Number 3, race swaps. Now, I'm one to judge a character by the context of, well, their character and not the color of their coat. But it looks like Hasbro has decided that some people shouldn't be how they are. And as such, Fluttershy no longer has wings, and Pinky is no longer a mud pony. Yes, they've swapped races. Pinky is now a surprise, but you know, colored like Pinky. She's a Pegasi. And Fluttershy is a unicorn. There's another big one, but I decided to give that its own little spot because there's more to it than what immediately meets the eye. Alright, so number 2. Twilight Sparkle is no longer a unicorn or an alicorn. Yes, Twilight Sparkle is now an Earth Pony. And before you guys get mad, it has been leaked now that Twilight Sparkle and all other races can all use magic. It's no longer tied to being a unicorn. That kind of begs the question though, what's the point of a unicorn? If magic isn't tied to their horn, are they just like, I don't know, giant barbecue skewers? There's not really a lot of utility for them at this point. Whatever the reason, Twilight is now going to be stuck on the ground and hornless, but not necessarily magicless. And the number 1 spot goes to, well, everyone's fired. You're all fired. Go home. Tara, go home. Elijah, go home. I think Andrea's a voice actor. I'll be honest, I don't know the voice cast. But all of them are fired anyway, so I don't have to learn them anymore. They're being replaced with an entirely new group. A group that is being quoted as being diverse. Unfortunately, that could mean a lot of things. I am not one to be upset with something being diverse, quote unquote, but as long as it's not forced diversity that's actually excluding certain groups of people and genders. Whether or not this group of people are talented is completely up in the air. I have no idea who it is. We don't know. As long as they're good and they can do their job the best out of any candidate, I don't care if they're black, white, Asian, Korean, Puerto Rican, blue, Navi, whatever. I think that's how a lot of you guys should look at it. Don't immediately get turned off just because it says diverse cast. Let's give these guys a chance to prove that they've earned their spots. Anyways, that's the top 10 lowdown for you guys. My name's been Faith, I'm Moliminous. Love your faces, so I hope you at least like my video, and if you guys enjoy what you see here, make sure to smash that subscribe button, click the bell notification to actually get notified when we post a video, or at least have a better chance at being notified. If you actually look at our statistics, it's like 5% of people actually get a notification. That means 5% of our subscriber base, they get a notification that we posted a video. That's horrible, YouTube. Please stop. If you guys absolutely adore me, you can support me on Patreon like some of these fine folks.